Morning to all the participants of the conference. My name is Costin Bratan, and I will present you the paper of our team, the observation of actors' vocal emotion exercises with deep learning and spectral analysis. These are the affiliations of the members that were part of our experiment, our process, and the dissemination of the results. First of all, we all have are a part of the National University of Science and Technology Polytechnica Bucharest, or simply the University Polytechnica Bucharest, that represents one of the fundamental and prestigious institutions of Romanian higher education, with more than 700 national and 50 international research projects. For this, University Polytechnica of Bucharest was put in the top 1,000 of best universities in the world. So, as an introduction of our paper, the influence of actors' voice on the emotions of their audience is a topic of great interest in the industry, in their industry. So, the actor's preparation for each performance is remarkable, involving the repetition of lines thousands of times to imbue them with the desired emotion that they like to transfer to the public. The impact of an actor's voice can be significantly affected by the number of times they have repeated their role, resulting in a more profound emotional resonance with the audience. Our study aimed to measure the intensity of the emotions conveyed through the voices of 4 actors, 4 credited actors, over the course of 30 days of training using vocal techniques. The actors were recorded daily during training, and the recordings were analyzed using AI algorithms, a CNN approach, to assess the emotional intensity of their voice, and also with spectral analysis. Numerous psychologists assert that the mental state attained by actors during rehearsal enables them to achieve a level of harmony between their verbal expressions through thoughts, intentions, and emotions, as well as their stage movements if they are playing in a theater. This is called the state of flow for an actor and is recognized in many psychological papers. This is the description of the experiment. In this study, as I said, 4 actors were monitored and audio recorded for a period of 30 days while engaging in exercises aimed at intensifying, enhancing the emotional impact of their voice. The actors were recorded daily as they attempted to imbue the same text with the same emotion, we analyzed in the first day and in the last day with an AI algorithm, and we've also made some spectral analysis. Following the completion of the training, further evaluation were conducted. Immediately after the final audio session, the actors were instructed to read a brand new text and imbue it with emotions that were opposite to those employed during the previous day's training. The resulting audio recordings were then subjected to analyze using artificial intelligence and also spectral analysis. Those findings were compared. Prior to the study, each actor was interviewed by a team of psychologists, and they were made a psychologist program using the state trait irritability inventory Spielberg, or simply style. This was the equipment used by the actors. So they came in a special room in our university campus, supplied with special recording equipments. So these are some equipments used for recording the actors each day. Condenser microphone, Schubbs CMC5 with an MK4 capsule. It has an 80 decibel signal to noise ratio, which means it measures how well the microphone captures the desired sound in comparison to the distortion, the background noise that can be presented. The audio interface has a total harmonic distortion plus noise rating, which means how much distortion and noise the interface introduces of minus 115 decibels, indicated that it can very well reproduce the input signal without any parasitic harmonical frequency. And the recording booth, so all the actors were in a special recording room that reduces sound reflections and outside noise. And the recording booth has been acoustically treated. This process aids in establishing a regulated recording environment, as when the musicians are recording. This was the space. Right now, for the results, this is the convolutional network, neural network that we used. This architecture is not trained by us, is taken from GitHub, and we put the input our database of the actors. So these are some features of this CNN. It was trained on mel frequency substral coefficients, and the input audio files were segmented into 2-second intervals using a fixed window size. And then the pre-procession of the raw inputs has passed through a discrete Fourier transform. And then the features, there were 40 features for each file that were generated at the input of the CNN. This CNN has a total of 87,944 trainable parameters, which are subject to a ReLU activation function with a dropout of 20%. The output shape is reduced from 640 to 8 components, representing 8 classes of emotions that this algorithm can identify: neutral, calm, happy, sad, anger, fear, disgust, and surprise. And in this experiment, the main emotions that we looked after was just the happiness one, the positive emotions, emotion that our actors had to express, to learn. Then for the specific emotion detected, the range for the intensity is set between 0 and 3 with a step of 0.5. The CNN was initially trained using 1440 speech files from the RevDNS database, and with 2800 files from the Toronto Emotional Speech Set database, which consisted of audio files with a sample rate of 48 kilohertz and 16 bits per sample. These were some results of the CNN. At the input, we had a total of 3,561 segments generated and tested for the first and the 13th day of training for each actor. So we can see that the intensity value for each actor, these are some normed values, was higher in the 13th day, in the last day of training, which means that the emotion was higher after all those training days. This was the second part of the results, the spectral analysis approach. So we can see here the spectrograms for a participant in the first day of training and on the last day of training. So this shows that the comparison shows that the actor's voice contained a wider range of frequencies on the last day of training compared to the first one. This indicates that the breathing, the acting techniques practiced by the actors help them to use all the resonant cavities of their voice during the interpretation of the text and to change it with more and more intense, charge it with more intense emotions. As I said, following the training, the actors were instructed to read the new text while simultaneously grappling with emotions that were contrary to those for the first text. So, employing the same spectral analysis, the new audio recordings were put it into a spectrogram, and we can see in this image that the measurements demonstrate the acting techniques may effectively augment the emotional content of the voice. So for the new text, the frequencies was not that wider as on the last day of training with the first text. So this means that this proves that the actors also need a part of training in order to achieve this kind of emotion level. In conclusion, the findings of this study indicate that the practice of voice, breathing, and stage interpretation techniques amplifies the power of the emotional influence of the voice by actors. By employing these techniques, actors are able to effectively utilize all of the resonant cavities along the vocal tract, thereby endowing their voices with the capacity to convey intense emotions to the crowd, to the audience. Acting techniques also facilitate the development of an actor's power of concentration and enable them to enter a state of flow, as I said in the introduction, that is very important for each actor in order to set the right parameters for their role, for their interpretation. The converge of flow state and voice carried emotions highlights the intricate relationship between psychological experience and also communicative cues. Comprehending the role that emotions conveyed through the voice play in the emergent maintenance of the flow state presents new opportunities for them to set educational performance and therapeutic settings. Future research should be to get into the neurological mechanism of the brain. We also started this second phase for other texts and other emotions, and with database consists of more than 4 actors. We have partnership with more actors, and what we actually started to do, we put them in an MRI, a 3 Tesla MRI, and they were reading those texts with that specific emotions, and then we will compare the first day of the MRI with the last day, the 13th day of also with an MRI, and see what is happening in their brains with the MRI images. So we already started this process. Thank you very much for your attention.